What's up everybody? Toby Wayne from Toby Wayne Studios. So today I thought I would do this quick little tutorial on how I pour up my resin. So basically what you're going to need is you're going to need some sort of resin. I use Smooth Cast 320. This is good stuff. I really like it. It's just reliable, dependable. It's just good. I really enjoy it. So if you guys are in the market, check out Smooth Cast 320 from Smooth On. You're going to need your silicone molds, and you're going to need some cups, which you can see here. I've already got some of my resin poured in. I've got a side A and a side B. That's important to keep those two separated for obvious reasons. Some paper towels would be nice. Let's see, what else do we got here? We're going to need our little cups. These are great little plastic cups for pouring the resin in. I don't use wax. I find the wax ones are not good. They could start breaking down, and getting wax flakes inside your resin as you're casting, so that sucks. Don't do that. Here's some popsicle sticks. You're gonna need a buttload of them. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, baby powder and a nice brush. I use the baby powder to dust the inside of the silicone molds so that acts as a surface tension breaker, and you're going to see that here in a few minutes. And you're going to need yourself a good digital scale. The interesting thing about Smooth On is it's technically supposed to be by weight. Or by volume, well, both, I guess, equal sides. They say not to measure it out, but I'm going to anyway because it's such a small amount of resin. I like to just kind of keep tabs on it. There is a potential for it to have sticky spots on the back, but I don't think it's that big of a deal at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lightly dust the inside of my silicone mold. There you see a little tiny bit in the face, and I'm going to get all the surfaces here. And I'm using my other camera, so I apologize if I get off frame, but I think you guys understand. I hope you do. So anyway, yeah, there's a dusting of that, and I'm going to go ahead and just remove any excess powder of the baby powder. You don't want to have heavy clumps of baby powder in there. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix up my side A and I'm going to get my side A poured, and I'm going to do 1 ounce of the side A. Let's see, 7, 8. Okay, there is 1 ounce of side A, and let's go with, tear that out, and I'm going to get 1 ounce of side B. Seven, 8, 9, and there's 1 ounce of side B. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of my scale. And so now I have my side A and side B, and I actually like to pour A into B, and I just let it sheen down the wall of the cup. Let's see if I can get a close-up shot here. Now this resin fires off in 180 seconds, so you got to move pretty quick. I do take my time, however, though, when I am mixing up my side A and side B. It's just important that you get a good mix on those two sides to make sure that there's no uncured spots, which will produce sticky spots, which really sucks. So try not to get those, that's for sure. But I always just really mix a good stir here to get all those sides and the bottoms mixed properly. Some guys will actually pour it into a second cup and then mix it again, but I don't do that. I just make sure that I get a fresh, clean stick every time. I learned that the hard way. And then I get my resin or my silicone ready, and then I'll gently pour in to a spot, and then I'll just kind of let it flow in, and then from there I'll do like a little slush cast of it. I think that's important. It kind of puts a nice coating on there. Whoops, and I just spilt my resin. What do you think of that? How professional is that, folks? We're going to see if we can salvage this, though. What do you think? That's the one thing about those cups, is if you get one little edge that doesn't quite pour, it'll catch on the edge and then just dump down the sides, which is really sucky. So there we go. Luckily I mixed up a little bit extra, so that's good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little stir stick under there because my bench is slightly uneven. I'm going to grab another paper towel here. And I'm going to see if I can zoom in on that. And you'll see it start to, you see all the little bubbles that pull forward, which that's a good sign, because then you can kind of just push them all together. You can kind of even pop some of them as they go before it kicks. And we're going to watch this fire off in real time here. But I like to group them in the center, so that way when it does fire off and I go to grind the base, all those bubbles are right there, and I just hit it and it goes, and it's going to be great. So I'm going to go ahead and just tilt this up here a little bit for you guys so you can see it. And now we play the waiting game. Silicone is definitely time sensitive, and it's also temperature sensitive. So if you have a colder area that you're pouring in, it might take a little bit longer than the 180 seconds as what the bottle says, but other than that, it'll fire off. The warmer the conditions, the faster it's going to cure. I've actually had this stuff fire off on me in mid-pour, and that's me not taking my time. It just was so warm that it just fired off, and it was pretty crazy. Poured in midstream. So there you see the blooming aspect of it. Yeah, it kicks off really quick, and people think that's so fun to watch that fire off, and it really never does get old. It's actually really fun to watch resins kick. It's kind of like watching paint dry, or maybe, you know, water boiling, you know. So I don't have much going on in my life. But yeah, so that's the kicking curing process. You'll notice that the outside edges are not curing, and that is because it cures from the thickest part outwards. So the thickest part is the hottest part, that kicks, and then it'll spread to the outside edges, and these will eventually cure in roughly 10 minutes, 15 minutes, somewhere in there. It'll be completely solid, and we'll demold it. So let's go ahead and back out of here so you guys can see what's going on. And I am going to oh so gently move this out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and let's pour up a Cthulhu. Well, I'm sorry about that. I don't have my paper towels ready. So I got a little bit on my bench. Not a big deal. I could actually just let that cure, and then I could just use a scraper. But I don't really feel like doing that right now. So we're going to go ahead and baby powder up our Cthulhu. And I'm going to dust the inside of that. One of the things I want to say about these silicone molds is as time goes on, these will start to break down. The silicone will actually start to lose the oils that help it cure. So we're going to go ahead and just keep using this little guy until it can no longer be used. I can get roughly, I don't know, maybe 50 pulls or more, depending on the complexity of the mold itself. If it's got a lot of undercuts and the such, it won't work as well. So it'll start to break down faster. So there's 1 ounce of side A. And let's go ahead and get our side B. I think currently right now in the studio it's like 67, somewhere in there, maybe, I'm hoping. Doesn't feel like it, so I might be off on that one. So 1 ounce of side B. So I've got my side A, side B, And we're going to go ahead and get our goodies ready. And I'm going to go ahead and gently pour it down the side. And I don't know if this is going to pick up or not in the camera, but you can see the separation from side A and side B, where the side A is sitting in the bottom because it's a heavier liquid than side B. So something to keep in mind. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this a good stir, get all my edges. And my goal is to hopefully get these to be demolded before my battery dies. So I should have looked at that first before I started, but I thought I had more than I did. So anyway, I'm just going to pour in my little tiny bit here. And I'm going to just do a nice gentle slushing of the resin along the edges, as close to the edge of the silicone mold as possible. And that just, again, is just to help to break down any and all little bubbles that might be there. So I'm going to go ahead and just start filling this thing up. And there you go. And I got a little tiny bit left in my cup. Not a big deal. It is what it is, I suppose. But yeah, let's go ahead and I can move this out here so everybody can see it. And let's go ahead and zoom in on it and see if I can talk us through this casting processes. Let's see, what else do I want you to know about this? Yeah, so back to the talking about the oils of the silicone. It will eventually start to break down. You can see some of the white edges around this. This one's been poured up multiple times, and in the eyes you can see little areas that are turning white, and that is the oils leaving the resin, or oils leaving the silicone. I might be able to get a couple more pulls out of this, but what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up spraying it with a release agent, which I will show you here in a few moments as soon as this fires off. And you can get those release agents pretty much anywhere, like Smooth On, Tap Plastics, yeah, just places like that. You should be able to find those release agents once your molds kind of start wearing down on you. But always sad to see a mold go, but that means that you're getting a lot of use out of it and hopefully making money. The dollar biz, y'all. Yeah, I'm an idiot. So I see this is taking its sweet time and firing off, but it should be kicking here any minute. And there it goes. And this is real time, so as you can see, it moves from a liquid to a solid pretty darn quick. And it gets pretty hot too. You can feel the heat coming off of it, which is pretty awesome. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, and you can see the dark edges again all the way around, and then that'll eventually solidify out in about 10 minutes. It should be ready to go. Oh, and I didn't even have to use a stir stick underneath to level it out, which is awesome. So here is my Nosferatu magnet that is poured up. There's the bubbles that had cured, and you can see how nice that is in the center. Then we'll just be able to grind that straight off, which is awesome, because that's going to be our trouble spot. We'll just hit it with the grinder and it should be good to go. So this thing is still pretty warm. I am going to be careful because I am pulling it just a touch early. And it's got those ears that I want to be really careful about, because those are smaller areas, and like I said, the outside edges are the absolute last to cure. So this is pullable. It's ready. It's just hot, and it will achieve its full cure. I'm not sure exactly when. 10 minutes you can pull it. And then it reaches its full cure, I think, in 12 to 24 hours. But it's super, super, super solid as is. But you just want to be careful of those edges. So let's go ahead and gently break the seal. And I'm always really gentle about this. And if all goes as planned, we should be able to have a Nosferatu magnet. Ta-da! And there it is. Turned out pretty nice. I'm not seeing any little imperfections. It looks good. There's just that little tiny flashing around the edges, which, as you can see, it's still really, really pliable right now because that's the thinnest spot. But it cured, so that's good. And there's a couple little positive bubbles, but this just flakes right off. Not a big deal. I can take a little carver and pop in there. I don't even see any positive or any negative bubbles, so that's a good thing. But yeah, so that's how that works. And like I said, the ears and everything turned out really nice. I'll just hit this with my grinder, hit it up against there. That'll knock that off of there. And then we'll be able to prime and paint, and we'll go from there. So yeah, so there's the mold and there's the casting. So pretty happy with that. This little guy I don't think is quite ready yet. I don't really want to pull him because I see he still looks a little soft around those edges. But yeah, these are some of the other ones that I poured in earlier today, just to get back into the habit of casting and all that good stuff. If you don't cast, you kind of have to rethink about it and make sure you got all your steps and bases covered. And these are pretty durable too, so you don't have to worry too much about that. One thing I do want to say about the storing of the resins, always make sure that you have side A and side B. Let me go ahead and zoom out here. Always make sure that you have side A and side B labeled so you know what you're dealing with. Because if you put, when you go to put this stuff back away, if you put B into A in the jugs, you've just ruined $100 worth of resin, and that will ruin your day. So you learn very quickly not to do that. So always keep them separated. Always make sure that you label your cups. That's just a good solid piece of advice that I could give. Always make sure that you protect it. Also make sure that you got your lid on tight, and they do sell like a gas agent that you can spray in there, and it will kind of form a barrier so that air and stuff won't get in, because if air gets into your resins, then you'll experience kind of like a bubbling where it'll expand, and it's not good. You can see the air actually casting out inside your pores, so you're going to want to avoid that if at all possible. Make sure you seal it tight, and keep them, and use them as quick as you can. I think this has like a shelf life of maybe 6 months. I've actually had it for over a year, and I've been able to make it work. So it just depends on your condition, but of your studios or where you're working. So let's go ahead and pull this sucker. You can see that it's solidified up. I gave the edges ample time. So we're going to go ahead and just pop this little guy apart. And there's a Cthulhu. So this one is starting to get to the end of its life cycle. I could feel it wanting to stick a little bit. But that is where this comes into play. This is the Smooth-On Universal mold release. It's great stuff. You just spritz a little on the inside of the mold, brush it around, and let it sit for a few minutes, and then you can pour your resin. So anyway, I hope this video and tutorial has been helpful for everybody out there today. I really appreciate all the questions and comments that people have been asking about my channel, my product, my procedures. I'm always willing to show what I do to get where I need to be with this stuff. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I always love to interact with everybody. Thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. I would love you forever. And until the very next video, I will catch you later.